Hey everybody, it's Joe Haygood here, aka mclazyj. We're back. It is it's Wednesday. It's May 1st. It's about an hour after we got the announcement from Virgin Voyages. I gotta admit I'm a little disappointed. The rumor in the beginning was like, oh, it's coming to the port of LA, it's coming to the port of LA, it's coming to the port of LA. So Brilliant Lady is coming to the port of LA. And I'm happy for that. But it's only coming for like 2 months. Like it's going to leave. So starting in September, ship is coming from Europe. It's going to dock in New York. And it's going to cruise to points north Canada. Which that actually sounds kind of cool. Then it's going to take a detour to the south in Miami for the winter. I think starting in I think it's like November. You know, when the snow starts to come, it's kind of pointless to be on a boat, right? So it's going to come down to the Bahamas. It's going to be in Miami for the winter months. And then it's going to do a cruise through the Panama Canal. So that's a 16-day cruise from Miami to LA, which is neat. It would be something I would consider at least, because it sounds like it's going to stop in like Colombia and Belize and several other places, obviously Panama, Mexico, and then it's going to come to LA. So it arrives in LA in March, late March, beginning of April, and then is going to be here for like 2 months and then going to Seattle and closing out several months doing Alaskan cruises out of Seattle. Again, not bad, but a little disappointing. I was hoping that it was going to be in LA and cruising all points north and south. So it's a little less than was expected, like the people that were kind of talking it up. So yeah, that's a disappointment. I was hoping for more. But anyways, it's good to see it's coming to LA, but it's kind of a downer that it's going to be short. Yeah. But I guess I'll make the best of it when it does come to LA. We'll try to get one of those cruises, and maybe we'll do one of the Seattle ones possibly later in the year. The idea being is an Alaskan cruise is cool. We've looked at doing an Alaskan cruise, so having that as a possibility is kind of neat. It sounds like the LA ones are going to be going to like San Diego, Santa Barbara, places like Puerto Vallarta and Cabo San Lucas, I believe, was one of the ones. So traditional, like that's the other thing. Like they talked about, oh, we're going to be doing some I can't say that I heard that from Virgin, but the inside scoop was it was going to non-traditional port locations. And I'm like, well, it's not really that non-traditional. I mean, a lot of the cruise ships here in LA go to San Diego or Santa Barbara. Like we looked at a Royal Caribbean cruise that goes to Santa Barbara and goes to, like it hops several cities going up north. They have another one that goes out to Catalina and comes down to Mexico. I think there's also one that hops to San Diego and goes down to Mexico. So it's like, I don't know. I just was expecting the rumor was like, oh, its home port is going to be LA, and it sounds like it's doing more of a tour of the Americas than anything else. And where it ends after that, who knows? Now maybe after it's done with its Alaska stuff, it's going to redirect and come back to LA and do stints there as well in 2026. But the fact that 2026 is going to be the time we see it's a long way away. It sounds like, though, they are going to do like a 4-pack Mermaiden cruise thing. So you can actually if you do the Mermaiden thing, you can book and be on the first cruise from all locations. Although I think the one is just one because it's through the Panama Canal. There is one that's going to end up going from New York to Miami, which I guess that's kind of a neat one, going down the Carolinas and whatnot. I don't know if it's going to port anywhere. They didn't really mention that in the presentation. They did mention that the Brilliant Lady is going to have a new class of why can't I think of the name of those now? Sea Terrace. And I think it's because of the way that, because the lifeboats are a little more tucked in, things are a little more tucked in. But the balcony, it's going to be a new class where that's at, where you get 2 hammocks. They talked about new dining experiences that may come out of the food and drink fest that they're doing. They did talk about some new shows. It sounds like there's going to be more comedy shows. I know some people were complaining like there wasn't enough comedy on the boat, so that's kind of neat. All in all, a little disappointing from my aspect. I was thinking like, oh man, it's going to be in LA for a long time, and it's not. So that's a bit of a bummer. But I could see us trying to catch one of the ones when it's in LA, and then maybe trying to catch. I mean, I would love to do that Panama Canal one, but I guarantee you that's probably expensive. It's a one-time cruise. So it's going to be tough to get seats, and I have a feeling it's going to be expensive. So I'm not too concerned. It sounds like the Alaska ones also, they're selling placeholders because it's so far out. $500 a person, so you got to drop $1,000 to guarantee a spot getting one of the cruises in Alaska. So we'll see what happens with that. For certain, I want to definitely try and get one of the cruises in LA. But we'll see if we can end up getting one of the ones in Seattle. But yeah, so that was the news from Virgin today. It was a little disappointing from my standpoint. It was a little disappointing from what I was hearing. So New York, Miami, LA, Seattle. But and and it also, because of that short turnaround, I don't even know if that means they're going to have like their own terminal down in LA. If you're just going to be here for 2 months, you're not going to build like a beautiful terminal. So it's probably going to be one of these temporary terminal situations, or leasing another person's terminal for docking purposes. So that's kind of a bummer. Like, seeing the impressiveness of the Terminal V in Miami, I was hoping, because the rumor was LA was going to be the location, that they'd get this nice terminal, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So beyond that, things are still going good. We're on plan down to 339 days until it's cruise time, which is cool. My weight goals have been a little hit and miss after getting down to about 146, although I was sick at the time. I get up to about 148, but I think some of that might be muscle growth. Man, my workout last night has me real sore. A lot of leg crunch or ab crunches, leg lifts, and upper body work. So just trying to get back into the routine. I kind of got off of my routine for about a week, and my diet kind of went a little sideways as well, so it didn't help. But hoping to get it back on track. But yeah, till next time, though, thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully this was news to you. Let me know what you think, if you're happy about the cruise destination. Like I said, I'm happy about the ports and destination and cruises. I was just hoping for more in LA. They made it such a, like, the early focus from a lot of people was such a thing about LA that it made me think like, oh man, this is gonna be great. Like, I was ready to like book several cruises out of LA. And then it was like, actually, it's only in LA for this amount of time. I guess it means there will be a sailing from like LA to Seattle. So I'm wondering, that might be one that we look at too, where we can come out of LA and go to Seattle and then come back down. And maybe it'll be one where you go through like maybe going to like Vancouver and Victoria, or Vancouver, or both, and come back down to Seattle. That would be kind of neat. We originally had a trip to Seattle planned before we changed it, went to Hawaii a couple years ago. So getting to Seattle would be nice. Seeing the space and whatnot. My wife's been to Seattle. I haven't. Washington's one of my few white whales I haven't been to the state. So, yeah. Anyways, the weight goals are good. Things are going all right. I am looking forward to this cruise. It's definitely moving along. Here we are, beginning of May. And yeah, it's coming fast. Like I said, 339. I remember when we booked it, it was like, I think it was 428 days when we booked it. And now here we are, 339. Almost 100 days since we've originally booked it. So yeah, it's cool. It's coming fast. Like I said, deposits have to be paid by the 6th of December. So that's like 6-7 months away. We got to look at booking our flights probably in a couple months to see how that's going to go. I'm leaning towards Frontier right now just because it seems like it's going to come out cheaper than Southwest. Southwest is prohibitively expensive right now. I understand the bags and all this stuff's included, but even adding in the fees for the other ones, it seems like it comes out cheaper. And I'm not that concerned about having Wi-Fi. I mean, I am. A long cross-country trip, you want to have Wi-Fi, but I mean, at the end of the day, if I can just download all my movies and stuff, so be it. But yeah, so that's going to do it for us today. Thanks everybody that came around and watched this video. Appreciate it. Let me know what you think of the port destinations, which one you think is your favorite, or where you might want to book, or if you're just kind of a little disappointed like I was. Or maybe you're like, hey, why didn't they do like a Hawaii cruise or something? I think that's what a lot of people were thinking. Oh man, it's going to be some Hawaii cruises in there. And there was not. So, yeah, anyways. Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon, evening, wherever you're at, and we'll see you next time.